As we think about this one family story, we know there are thousands just like that all over northern Colorado. So many children, single parents and families struggling, and it takes an entire community to come alongside of them. So tonight, it's my privilege to introduce to you our guest speaker, who's going to talk about the greater impact of safe families in the community and the real need for more of us to hold hands together for this cause. Merissa Scranton is a supervisor with Larimer County Child Protection, and actually worked with Roxy before she started the Northern Colorado chapter of Safe Families. Merissa has been dedicated to serving families with over a decade of experience in Larimer County's Children, Youth, and Families Division, beginning her career with mentoring for children in the juvenile detention system. Merissa has worked in various roles, including intake and ongoing casework, after-hours casework, and like I said, she currently serves as a supervisor with the Larimer County Child Protection Services. So please welcome Merissa to the stage.
Hello. I am so honored to be here tonight. Roxy and Katie both asked me to speak, and you will quickly learn that I'm a crier, which is why I have this. I didn't come prepared with a pack of tissues. I also have some other guests here at Larimer County. Katie Heckman, who is my supervisor, deputy division manager, is here. We do wonderful work, and I prepared a PowerPoint, and I promise I won't be boring with it. Okay, so I have been doing child welfare since 2009, and it's my lifelong journey and dream. So I'm just going to give you some statistics. Who here are data fact people? Woo woo, what's up? You're going to love me. Okay, who here, though, are the heart people who loved Melissa and Kenny? Yeah, okay, I'm both, okay. So let me give you some statistics here. At any given time in the state of Colorado, there are over 5,000 children who are in the foster care system. I think that is a pretty staggering number. What's even more staggering is the foster homes that we have to serve the children who are in need of a home. We have about 2,000 licensed foster homes in the state of Colorado. The unfortunate part about that, every year there is a 12% decline of foster homes for any given reason. So numbers are high, foster homes are going down. Currently, right now, I'm going to say I prepared this a month ago, so as of a month ago, there were only 17 openings in Larimer County for children who needed foster care, and that was only if they were a sibling set less than 2. So if you're a sibling set of 3, 4, 5, which is pretty common, those homes are harder to find, and you would probably have to go outside of Larimer County to find a safe place to sleep. So, and if you were a teenager, ages 12 and up, we only have 2 spots open for you. And that just really, really breaks my heart because I have a 12-year-old and 11-year-old. So, let's talk about foster care costs. So the average cost of a child aging out of the foster care system is in between $309,000 to $343,000. Staggering numbers. I don't need to get into the finance piece. That's another TED Talk I can give you later if you want to come meet me in the back. We can go ahead and fast forward. I really want to stick to the emotional damage that foster care can have on children, including fear of abandonment, rejection. This is really interesting. Go ahead and you keep going through all those little dots there. Thank you. Behavioral problems that you might see, which I'm going to talk about in a slide. That's actually grief. Grief looks very differently. I'm a crier, but some people in grief, it looks a little bit different. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about school. So if you were placed in foster care, typically that is not, your first placement is not your last placement. You are going to probably be moved multiple times in hopes to get closer to your siblings or get closer to your parents, and that really disrupts your education. It disrupts your learning, your grades, your social outlet with your friends. Go ahead, if you want to just keep going through all of them, that would be super helpful, thank you. Appreciate it. So then when that impacts your schooling, these are staggering numbers about youth in foster care and what actually happens to graduation rates and then them going through college. So 10% of kiddos who are in foster care, they're just going to be chronically absent because transportation is a huge barrier for many people who are caring for kids. And this is a statistic from 2022. 30% of youth in foster care in Colorado schools graduated high school. And I just want to pause there because that number makes me very emotional. And only 3% will go on to higher education of that 30%. And only 1% will graduate with a college degree. So if you think about the cycle and the impact of becoming part of the system, this is what this does. I do not believe in foster care. I think children belong with parents, first and foremost. And if they can't safely belong with parents, then they should be with families. And if they can't be with families, they need to be with their community. They do not need to be in stranger care outside of their community. Okay, next slide. Okay, so here's some social things that happen when you are a child in the foster care system. You often get labels because you're in grief. You might be labeled as a very difficult child. You're going to be labeled as strange. You're going to have other probably outbursts that could be labeled as violent, and that impacts your ability to find permanency. So here's the blessing that I have today. You might say, great, Merissa, you work for the county. You're probably part of this broken system. Yes, I am, and I feel called to be here because of people like you. We at Larimer County partner with collaboration with our community agencies to avoid statistics like this. The last thing that I want to touch on for the social dilemmas that children go through is dehumanizing language that everyone, including myself, have been guilty of saying in a moment of trying to figure out why somebody is doing something that they are. So if you have ever said, gosh, why is that person using meth instead of being with their kids? That impacts a child's heart. That is not the truth. That is the devil lying to you to try to separate you from another person. That's dehumanizing language. Even myself am guilty of it, so I just want to call this out, that those people who are struggling with a dependency issue are humans first and foremost, and they love their children desperately. So, my kids love to hate me with this slide here. We had this on our refrigerator for a very long time. Grief looks so differently to so many people. I'm a crier, what? But as I said, some people get really angry. I'm not a table flipper, but if you're a table flipper in here, that's okay, that's grief, right? So we need to be able to identify what grief looks like in our bodies and then in the people that we love, their bodies. And it may look very, very differently depending on the person. So it is okay, everyone goes through grief, and it is our job as our community to look grief straight in the eyes and love someone and not look away as they're going through grief. That is what we're called to do. Okay, next slide. So, when parents have a strong support system, we break cycles. You, everyone in this room, are going to break cycles today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, because it reduces stress, it improves mental health, healthier coping mechanisms. We get to be a part of breaking these cycles. Next slide, thank you. Okay. That's my family. I'm the oldest of 9 siblings. Yes, saw that face back there. That's how I feel sometimes too. Okay, so I'm the oldest of 9 siblings. I only have 10 minutes to speak to you, so I don't get to tell you my whole testimony. Every single one of my siblings has a different testimony to mine, and the grief will bring you to your knees. We've experienced domestic violence. Our father experienced mental health crises that he couldn't control, and ultimately it led to his passing in 2021 because he was dependent to methamphetamines, and it ended his life, and it broke our family apart. The beautiful thing about why I get to stand here today, me and those siblings, not once entered the foster care system because of people like you.
Oh, yes.
Because of people like you. And I get to stand here today because I graduated high school. Every single one of my siblings One, my youngest one, she's going to graduate high school in May. We all graduated high school.
Yeah.
Woo! Come on. I got to go to college. I get to stand here today, very privileged with an education, and tell you, because of people like you who took me and my siblings in at our darkest time, you changed my life.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay, next slide. Children belong with families and need support. You might be here and say, I hate kids. That's fine. It's okay. It's not for everyone. Kids aren't for everyone. But maybe you have a working car. Maybe you have some extra money in your pocketbook tonight. Maybe you have an extra room in your house. Maybe you're a great mechanic. I don't know. You are gifted. Every single one of you is gifted individually with something that you can serve your community with. What is that calling that you have? I want to end this with a quote that changed my life because I was searching for a way to give back to my community the way that it poured into me. And this verse is my mantra that I wake up every day. It's Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go? Then I said, here I am. Send me. And I had that quote on my car the day that I went back to After Hours and met Roxy in 2017. Because I don't know what every day will call me to look like. Human lives are different every single day, but all I can do is wake up and say, here I am. Send me. And that, I think, is our calling today. What can you do today, and how will God use you today? Thank you.
Wow, that was powerful. Merissa, thank you so much for really painting a picture of the current reality of foster care in our county and how we can be a part of it, and how you partnered with Safe Families, and just so encouraged to hear you speak and your passion for families to stick together, and even your own story. So thank you so much.